I've said this for the past couple of videos, and I think, honestly, depending on how Trump starts his term next year, this, I think, will be proved relatively true. So that question simply boils down to this. And again, let me know down in the comments what you think of this as well. And you know, feel free to agree, disagree, etc. But I really think Trump winning in America has really, really well and truly brought about the beginning of the end of Brexit. I really think we have got there. So let me go into this as to why I think this. And it mainly, and this is mainly, of course, of Trump's main big policy. And that is the idea that, oh, you don't understand, free trade is bad, and what we need is tariffs. We need tariffs. We need to bring back tariffs. And that these tariffs are going to be like the savior of American manufacturing. Meanwhile, of course, there is a video doing the rounds. I don't know if you've seen it, of someone trying to educate a Donald Trump supporter, which is kind of hilarious. Educate a Donald Trump supporter on what these tariffs actually mean. He goes like, well, no, you don't understand. You buy, I sell you a $10 shirt. You then sell that $10 shirt for $20 onto someone else, right? You agree with that trade. Then he goes, okay, now I start having to sell you, because of these tariffs, I start having to sell you this shirt at 15. Like, what's your reaction going to be? And the guy's reaction is, oh, well, I'm obviously going to have to, increase my prices to sort of sell it to this guy. And he goes, there, thank you very much. And he just walks off. and it's true. Any bringing in of tariffs, especially for America, is going to lead to an increase in prices. This whole idea that it'll bring back like manufacturing to America. Oh no. oh no. It won't. It will not. There's other reasons. The world has moved so much on from that. And to do this, it's gonna be it's gonna be bad for a lot of people in America. But of course, as we've said before, these tariffs are going to have an effect on other countries. Of course, China, he's immediately said he's going to put a 60% tariff on China and a 10% tariff on everyone else. Well, as we've said before, what's to stop other countries responding? Because other countries did respond before. Remember Trump's steel tariff? Well, the EU responded with tariffs of its own. Now, there wasn't too much escalation last time because it was specifically targeting steel tariffs. But Trump this time is going 10% tariffs across the board. So how do you think then, given the way that the EU reacted last time, that they're going to respond? They are probably going to do a reciprocated tariff. And then the question then becomes, when these tariffs don't end up working, because they won't, what then does Trump do? Or does he respond almost instantly by raising the tariffs even more? Maybe he goes, okay, 15% tariff now. And then the EU goes, okay, 15% tariff back. I don't know. It may end up going in a very tit for tat fashion. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know at the moment what could happen, which is a big part of why we didn't want Trump, because everything was just going to be crazy, chaotic, and we just did not know what was going to happen. And now, unfortunately, we live in that world. So this now brings a situation of what happens to the UK. The UK is going to be brought into the situation of where, all according to the Brexiteers, everything was going to go free trade crazy. We were all going to go amazing free trade. Everyone remembers, of course, Jacob Rees-Mogg going, "Oh well, we just have 0% tariffs, and that somehow solves all our problems." No, no, it doesn't. Of course, we'll obviously be living with 10% tariffs as well. How does Labour respond to that? A lot of these Brexiteers are going to push this notion that somehow we can be like the gateway to like US products, that people can go buy products in the US, ship them through the UK, then on into Europe. Europe will catch on to that pretty quickly, and it will respond in some way, shape, or form, which will very quickly stop that from happening. Which again will increase prices for us. So this comes into a point where the UK will have to choose a side. Now, if you go and you look at most UK businesses, who do they do more trade with? It's Europe. It's Europe. You know? Especially, of course, in the service realm as well. And again, I remind you, 80% of our economy is based on services. Which way do you think we're going to end up going? We're going to end up leaning closer to Europe, to which I've always said, given the fact that we are going to have that meteorological and metallurgical bill, which is set to come in next year, about aligning more closely with EU sort of rules and regulations. Again, depending on what businesses want, and of course, businesses are going to want to follow more closely those rules and regulations. You've got Germany. Their ambassador came out a couple of days ago that is Germany's basic aim and align, which I think we can agree to now. We've seen that sort of defense deal to keep the UK aligned with the EU. Again, which way are we going to go? We're obviously going to go with the EU on this. It's inevitable. And then you once again end up asking that question. If we are so closely aligned with the EU, if we're aligning with them on this, we are doing all this stuff with them, what then was the point of Brexit? I've always said, once that question starts to be asked, that's it. Brexit's over. Completely. As soon as that question starts to get asked, starts to be implemented, if we did all this, stuff for all these Brexit promises, which again haven't materialized, haven't come to fruition, what then was the point of Brexit if we are now so closely aligned with Europe and all its rules and regulations? Why are we then not in Europe helping to write the rules on those rules and regulations? What could happen, of course, with tariffs? The second, we'll probably find out early next year. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like one of the first things Donald Trump does. So we'll probably find out. I think the 20th of January. So we'll probably find out. If not, maybe on the 20th of January, maybe on the 21st. I don't know what he intends to do with these tariffs. But make no mistake, this is, I think, with Trump winning that White House, I really do think this is the beginning of the end of Brexit. Like, I really do. Because it all comes down to, if the EU and the US get engaged in a trade war, well, where are we going to fall on it? You're going to go with the EU. Going with the US does just not make any economic sense. So, as always, let me know what you think down below. But I think we are. I think we are reaching some sort of end game. I think the end game of Brexit is now in sight in many ways. But do let me know what you think down below as well. So as always, like I say, thank you very much for watching. Please do hit the like and share button on your way out. And of course, down below, there's the Patreon page. There's a Buy Me Coffee link where you can, well, buy me coffee. The YouTube thank you button. There's the Pony Club down below as well. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.